Here before Bucks Game 5 against the Raptors with the Bucks athletic beat writer Eric Nehm. Eric, you were there when the Bucks lost back-to-back games for the only other time this season. What compares with this team against that team?
I think that team was still trying to figure out who they were. Like, Malcolm Brogdon was out, they weren't fully healthy, and they were kind of just trying to get through the regular season. Those games, I'm not going to say it didn't matter, but in the final month of the year, they were kind of playing with their food a little bit and trying to figure out where they were going. And this team is in the middle of the playoffs, in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is true adversity, and really probably the first time this year they've really faced adversity just like this.
What has surprised you about how this series has gone so far?
Game 4 shocked me. Just watching the first 3 games, the Bucks played much better defensively, and then all of a sudden Game 4, they're giving up a bunch of open shots. The Raptors are hitting a lot of shots, and I thought it was the most kind of shook we've seen this Bucks team. That was the first time this year, that third quarter, where they didn't seem to answer the call. That was what surprised me, that we've actually seen this team be kind of shook, and that hasn't happened thus far this year.
Both teams have really defended their home court. How much credence do you give to the fact that they're back at Pfizer Forum, possibly going to get a win tonight?
I think it should be a lot, because there is the old adage that role players play better at home, and I think it's played out thus far in this series. You've seen a lot of their role players in Toronto play a lot better here in Milwaukee. Obviously, this is why they try to get the best record in the league this year. This is why they wanted it, so that when it came down to a Game 5, a Game 7, they would be the team at home.
And besides that kind of home court advantage, is there something else on the court that you think is kind of going to be an X factor tonight?
I mean, I think the big thing is Giannis, and I mean, that goes without saying, but he just hasn't appeared comfortable at all in this series. The first 2 games, he was getting defended by Pascal Siakam. Now it's Kawhi Leonard, and so he's trying to figure out exactly what their coverages were. Against Boston, he figured it out after 2 games and dominated, but he hasn't done that thus far. So I'm curious if he has one of those in him yet. Maybe it's tonight, maybe it's Game 7, but we haven't seen the full aggressive Giannis unleashed quite yet.
All right, well, thank you for the insight. Tip-off is shortly at 7:30. We'll have you connected with more coverage after the game on air and online.